asked all the time, what's my favorite meal of the day? And that's the easiest answer that I can give you, breakfast. So for breakfast, what I like to do is go out to most breakfast places and try different things, but my go-to right now is skillets. Skillets have like a little potato hash on the bottom, some eggs on top, some different kinds of meats. The only issue with that is that you can find yourself in trouble with the calories and the macros. Sometimes they're higher fat, a lot of unwanted processed food in there. So I'm gonna show you a quick, easy, healthy version of a hash that you can use and then serve, of course, with some eggs or whatever else you want to serve on top. I'm gonna show you a sweet potato hash. Stay tuned. So for today's recipe, the ingredients we're gonna need are 2 sweet potatoes, medium to jumbo, a little bit of cilantro, stem on, 1 red onion, and 3 slices of turkey bacon. So the first thing we're gonna do is get all our stuff ready. So for that, what we're gonna do first is the hardest stuff, the sweet potato. The sweet potato, I like to use the skin because it's where all the vitamins are at. So what I'm gonna do is square off the ends, set that aside, take 1 nice slice off the bottom, probably 1/4 inch thick. That way I can stand it up, makes it easier to come down 1/4 inch down. Do the same thing with the other one. This just makes it a lot easier to small dice it or medium dice it. That way it doesn't slide around on you and you cut yourself. Now all you're gonna do is take this, take your knife, run it back. That keeps it all together, so then when you go for your dice, it stays put. Now you're gonna do that for the rest of all the sweet potatoes, so take your time. There you go, all the sweet potatoes done. Now we're gonna move it away from our workspace into a little bowl. Always work nice and clean, making sure to not, it's easy to cook and all that, but it's very hard to stay organized. By organized, I mean cooking in the right manner. So like first I cut the sweet potato, no mess, right? So now I can use my cutting board to move on to the next step. Next step, I'm gonna take the cilantro, bunch it all up with stems. The stems is where all the vitamins are at. Now I'm just gonna slice it up. This I'm gonna push off to the side of my cutting board. That way it stays right there. Now I'm gonna need 1 red onion. So again, pretty simple. Cut the 2 ends, split it down the middle, peel the outer layer. Sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes, you lose a nice little piece, but it is what it is. So just peel it. Now this is where you need a sharp knife. So you're gonna grab your onion, run it sideways, come down, and then now we're gonna dice. Again, pushing off to the side, working nice and clean. At the end, what I like to do is flip it and cut it. That way you make sure you get every piece of it. Again, same thing with the second one. And there you go. Last but not least is the turkey bacon. I'm using 3 pieces. This is some substitution of bacon or some sausage or whatever. It has less fat, still a good amount of protein. It gives it the same effect. So for this one, all I'm gonna do is just do little slices. Leave that on your cutting board and we move on. So first thing first, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna move our cutting board over and push our onion in. Just the onion, not the cilantro, not the turkey bacon. Not yet, at least. We're gonna add a little fresh sea salt, a little fresh ground black pepper. Take our wooden spoon and saute this onion. It's gonna take you about 2 to 3 minutes to saute all the onion, get it nice and soft. So take your time, and once you're ready for the next step, we'll all meet together and continue on with the recipe. So I'll see you in 2 minutes. At this point, it's already been about 2 minutes. Now we're gonna add our sweet potato. We're gonna let this cook nice and soft also for about 6 minutes. This is gonna let the sweet potato get all the flavor from the onion and also get a little soft. We don't want it overly mushy because, again, you're not making mashed sweet potato, you're making a sweet potato hash. So just take your time and just move it around, letting it get nice and brown. Sometimes what I like to do is layer it all flat, like almost if you're making hash browns. Let it brown on one side, then flip it over. At this point, I'm going to add all my seasonings. So I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, just to give it a little bit of spice. You need just a little bit, almost like a pinch. A little bit of ground garlic powder. That one you need about a teaspoon. And a teaspoon on chili powder. This just gives it a little bit of a smoky taste. Now we're just going to start mixing it up, and then we're going to lay it flat again. At this point, we're going to add our turkey bacon in there. Mix it all together. You should be able to smell the turkey bacon and all the different spices coming out right at this point, because the fat from the turkey bacon, which it doesn't have that much, does give it a different kind of a taste. It's as close to bacon as you can get, but without all the unwanted fats. At this point, I'm going to add my cilantro. The cilantro, I find, gives it a different kind of taste. Like, I remember going to a place and they had like a chorizo hash. So it had all those great Mexican flavors like jalapeno and chorizo and cilantro. So I was like, how can we make something like that? But clearly not with all the other ingredients. They add so much different fat to this recipe. Because again, this is supposed to be nice and healthy. I mean, sweet potato is a really good carb. It's a slow digestion carb. So it's great before workouts, really great after a workout. And it's also high in potassium, so it's really good for you. At this point, the sweet potato is almost 100% done, but it has to rest a little bit more because you don't want it too raw, but again, not too cooked. So I'm just going to push it down again and let it go for 2 more minutes. So that's it. So now we're going to plate it up. So I'm going to grab my bowl and grab some of this nice, beautiful sweet potato hash. I'm going to add about maybe 2 cups. I'm going to grab some of my cotija cheese and just grate it right on top. This is instead of doing like cheddar cheese or American cheese, whatever most of these places do. I just need a little bit. Just, it gives it a little bit more of that salty taste. And then there you go. One thing I would do, like I said, is you're missing the protein. If that's eggs or bone-in ham or whatever kind of protein you would do, I would do a little bit of on top. So maybe like 2 sunny side up eggs, or 2 over easy, or 2 over medium, over hard, however you like your eggs. But that's the only thing I would add to this. And this would make it a super healthy breakfast skillet. And you see it, you can make it at home at a fraction of the cost. So there you go. Hopefully you like this video. As always, stay tuned to next week for future videos. Leave me any comments, any suggestions, any questions, anything. As always, love you guys. Until next time, bye.